My DJs, what's going on, guys? What's up? What's up? All right, let's dive right on into it. How's everybody doing today? Chat's starting up. Everybody's showing up. Good to see, man. Good to see. All right, so as we see, I did a little bit of a TA video earlier this morning for JASMY, and as you can see, we pulled down below the 100-day SMA, and we've wicked all the way back up over it. Just like I thought we would, just like I said we would in the video. If you don't believe me, go check my receipts. I do think that this daily candle will end up closing green or pretty close to it. So yeah, another daily close above the 100-day SMA for JASMY on the daily would be fantastic. Let's frickin' go. What are we doing on Bitcoin? Oh, what are we doing on Bitcoin, you might ask? Well, yeah, we set another new all-time high today. 4 days in a row, new all-time highs. If you're bearish, then I don't even know what to tell you at this point, guys. We are just getting ready to rip here. $76,970. Can we break 77,000 today? Maybe we'll break it right here live on the stream. We've hit the all-time high for the last 3 days in a row live on stream. So let's see if we smash it here today while we are live. Look how close we are, guys. We're like $12, $15. We're 15 bucks away from $77,000, guys. 15 bucks. Come on, someone throw 15 bucks into Bitcoin right now. Let's go. Oh man, absolutely awesome. Ripping, gripping, and tripping. Absolutely amazing, guys. Amazing. I think we might have broken 77,000. Looks like we did really, really briefly. Either way, we're just a hair below it. Let's go. Let's see if we can smash above it and stay above it. If Bitcoin can go on another rip today, altcoins are going to go on another leg up. It's going to be fantastic. Let's go have a look at the bubbles in the meantime, see what's happening. See what's happening around the market. Crow is having itself a fantastic day. John 316, I'm looking at you, brother. I know you're part of the Crow family. 21.9 up. Cardano having a 14.2% pump, despite the fact that BitBoy said it's dead. Link is up 8%. You got some good DC opportunities on the table still, though, guys. Turbo under a penny, still a fantastic pickup. I do believe Turbo will hit 10 cents. I do believe that. Oops, wrong way. So yeah. Mobile's having a nice pump today as well. Things are looking good. Miria is having that little bit of a FUD pullback as well. I think I'm going to stock up on a bunch of Miria, guys, at these prices. I just don't feel like I can pass up this opportunity to scoop a bunch up at this level. So, and as you guys know, I see your comments in the chat. The way that we do things now, guys, I'm going to get through all of the news and everything. And then I will get to the chat afterwards. I'm not ignoring you. I will get to everyone's comments later in the second half of the stream. If you have a altcoin you want me to look at or anything like that, or you want to catch my attention, just send it over in a super chat. There is a goal at the top of the chat, so check that out, and I will get to your stuff immediately, okay? So let's get into some of the news, guys. Let's start off with some JASMY stuff here from NeoSun. JASMY will participate in the DIS World next December 11th and 12th in Japan. Their theme will be digital transformation for government, regional, and education. The DIS World, organized by Dawabo, I always butcher that, information system, they're JASMY's partner since the beginning. They will bring 180 suppliers to showcase the latest innovations in artificial intelligence and digital transformation. They are also working closely with JASMY. They are Japan's largest publicly traded company. So JASMY is actually partners with Japan's largest publicly traded company. Let that soak in, guys. Let that sink in, right? They're also the only legally regulated cryptocurrency in Japan. And just so you guys know, if you're new, like I said, I'm seeing some altcoin requests. There's a goal. It's called Goal right at the top of the chat. If you want me to look at your altcoins, go and participate in the goal, and I will look at your altcoins for you. I will even give you a price target. All right, moving forward, what else do we have? Steph is Crypto says JASMY's chart shows a classic cup and handle pattern forming, setting up the potential for a breakout. So his target sometime in the middle of 2025 is 62 cents if resistance is cleared. So a 62-cent JASMY, yes, please. I would buy that for $1. Absolutely. We have a little bit more of a fun speculation thing. If you check this out, there's been a lot of, like why let's get a JASMY Sony partnership announcement kind of thing going on here, right? Well, funny story here, as our friend Neosun says. He says, did Harasun reveal that JASMY is a venture capital company of Sony? I don't see any other company in collaboration with Aveda besides JASMY and Aveda itself. And on top of that, he keeps referring to Sony more and more, saying Junction is backed by Sony. So as you see down here, Hara's own words, he's talking about the JASMY PC. He says, we have developed a new product. It is the world's only blockchain PC, which was released in Hong Kong, May of 2023. And it was JASMY, a Sony venture company. So could that be the reason that there is no announcement that they're partnered with Sony, because they're actually a part of Sony? Well, we're going to continue to do a deep dive into that to find out what we can find out for you guys, right? That would be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. As you see, JASMY Underground, shout out to JASMY Underground. I try to pop in for his X spaces on JASMY every once in a while. He says that would make a lot of sense. The token would be a representation of the company's tokenizing the businesses itself, raising capital through the exchanges. This is very interesting find. Absolutely. I agree. All right, moving forward, let's see what else is going on in the news. This just in, CEO of the American Securities Association, which represents regional brokers and financial services firms, has called on the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, to resign. Quote, the people voted for this country to take take a new direction, and the chairman, Gensler, should respect that vote by stepping down from his position immediately. This is the only way for America's working families, retirement savers, and small businesses to rebuild their trust and confidence in the institution of the SEC. Gary Gensler has completely and utterly foobarred the reputation and trust of the SEC from the American people. So there you go. All right, let's get into some Squawk Box, guys. I know you guys love these updates. Tommy Lee says Bitcoin is potentially a treasury reserve asset that can help offset the deficit.
Join us now on the markets. Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, chief investment officer at Fundstrat Capital, and the list goes on and on. And he's a CNBC contributor. First post-election appearance that we've had. You knew Trump was going to win.
Well,
not many people did.
Yes, that's.
I'll give you credit. Are you saying you didn't? Maybe you didn't say it in so many words, but you said it.
Yes, I'd say that we were placing a lot more weight on what the betting markets were pointing to, and so and we, when we look at all the deltas, that's.
And you saw it in the Trump trade,
yes.
And you saw it in Bitcoin,
correct,
and you saw it in sectors of the market that would benefit from.
That's right.
Presumably, but who knows from a Trump presidency. So 1,500 points, a meet out of the gate. More to come, or are we're already there?
I think we need to respect this move. I mean, there was a tremendous rally post-election, and it continued yesterday. I think it really does reflect a lot of money was taken out of the market because of the uncertainty around the election. And now we know that because of policy changes and animal spirits, that this is really going to benefit things like Bitcoin and small caps and regional banks and financials. So
you see animal
I do think
spirits?
There's still a lot of upside. I mean, small caps trade at 10 times median forward earnings. I mean, that's a
So so what do you think that should be? 12 times? I mean, what's the opportunity set in your mind?
Well, since 1987, small caps traded on a median PE basis at a premium to the S&P. The S&P is at 17 times. So I think small caps could, in the next couple years, outperform by more than 100%.
And what do you think about some of the macro issues that I think create a different level of uncertainty? We keep talking about the bond market and what that might be saying, what you think is happening with gold. Are the bond vigilantes going to be this governor on whatever you think is going to happen in Washington?
As James Carville famously said, the bond market everyone's scared of the bond market. So that is something we need to watch. But we've had plenty of periods where stocks have risen with bonds rising. And I kind of agree with Powell's assessment that yields have gone up not because of inflation, but because there's sort of a change in growth expectations.
I thought that a sweep was, for either party, was the death knell for the markets and frightening to all involved. And now we're getting a sweep. Why isn't it more frightening? Maybe the sweep the other way would have been a little more frightening to some.
Yeah. I think part of the reason investors are getting somewhat optimistic is that President Trump is entering office again, but this time with a lot more knowledge of how to build a cabinet and a team. And so in some ways, this would end up being more market friendly. And I think that's why investors are becoming optimistic. I kind of agree with the idea that there are animal spirits growing.
He'll never be deficit friendly.
Animal spirit.
He will be deficit friendly. He won't be, if we cut taxes on tips, Social Security, overtime, remove the SALT cap, extend the tax cuts. If you do all those things, that seems like
it's going to be very difficult to fix the deficit with just changes in taxes and spending. But it's probably why Bitcoin is kind of interesting here, because it's potentially a treasury reserve asset. And, if Bitcoin rises in price, it actually helps offset the liabilities, which is the deficit.
So you were at 150, I think, on Bitcoin, weren't you? But
yeah.
Not necessarily by the end of this year, or?
I think 6 figures is still possible before the end of the year, yeah.
And then more next year and the year after.
Yeah, I think because now, post-halving and now Bitcoin's becoming a lot more relevant, and I think maybe the regulatory overhang is diminishing, that there's a lot of upside from here, yes.
Okay, S&P, end of next year.
Well, between now and year end, 5 to 10% is probably the base case, just because that's the type of rally post-election, and we have a dovish Fed and, the normal seasonals.
Is that the right move right now for the Fed?
I think inflation fighting war is largely over, and the real rate is still too high. So I agree with Fed's view that we need to move towards neutral, which is towards 3%. So I think it is supportive of markets, and business investment has been constrained. So I think these things are positive.
So exciting, guys. Markets are getting excited. Money's flowing back in. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Have another video here for you. Hang on a second. All right, let's see what Jay Clayton has to say over at Squawkbox.
One of the questions I was going to ask you was a personnel question. I think there's questions about the role that RFK might have in this new administration. Does he go through a confirmation process? Is he an outside advisor? There's lots of questions about the Elon Musks of the world, who I think would be part of this efficiency group, if not run it. Is there going to be a realignment of how business people are involved or not involved in this administration, and the various conflicts of interest and other things that people are going to invariably raise flags about?
Sure, that is going to come up. And look, we need to have people who understand our markets in the positions of regulating our markets. The idea that you can have somebody who has had an academic-only career come in and be an effective regulator is fanciful. Now,
right.
Should we have academics in the mix? Of course we should.
Right.
But we need to have people like that. And two things on this. Our ethics rules are very important, but they shouldn't be preclusive of people who have experience. They have been used to preclude people who have experience.
Right.
We need to take a pause on that.
And so what does that mean, though? Because people are going to say, like, there's a chance that, the president could waive a conflicts issue, for example, for Elon Musk. And it may be great in many ways for Elon Musk to be part of the administration and do many of the things that we've talked about doing. But at the same time, if there are questions in the public sphere about whether he's going to also be a beneficiary economically himself as a result of those things, that also therefore undermines, again, this goes to the trust in democracy issue, which actually I think is a big, not just trust in democracy, but a trust in the system. By the way, I believe that one of the reasons that the next president of the United States is winning and won the election is because there's a large group of people in this country who don't believe in that they could trust the system on the other side.
I think
everybody together?
I think Tuesday night showed that people want Elon Musk's voice in policy discussions. They voted.
Oh,
in
I'm
favor.
not suggesting you shouldn't be. I'm just saying, how do you do it?
But let me make a point. And the ethics rules, transparency and the like, we should have them, but they should not preclude us from having a person like Elon Musk who has demonstrated incredible competence, including across media and transparency.
In the mix. When Barry was here, they were talking about, I'm sure Elon, when Kamala wins, I'm sure Elon would want to work for her too as an American. And I finally said, when we went off, I said, Barry, you don't need to have to beg Elon to work for Kamala. You could just vote for Trump and get Elon along with it. He's already on that team. You don't have to have this. And I said, actually, I remember I said, you don't have to twist yourself in a pretzel to get where Elon can. But it was weird because they were. I think the other side was jealous that Elon threw his lot in. Obviously, and I think it had a lot to do with Trump winning.
Sure, but that's a political issue. I'm asking you. I'm talking about the credibility of the quote-unquote system and trying to have the country feel really good about all aspects of it. And here's where I'll go with it. We've had lots of conversations, and I've been, I hope, outspoken about the fact that, you look at various congresspeople and senators. We've talked about Pelosi and others where they're trading stocks, for example, at the same time that they're engaged or involved in these things. And some of them will say that, they're in blind trust or they had nothing to do with it or this or that and all sorts of things. But invariably the country, people in the country, conspiratorial or not, say, I don't believe in this system. I think this is crazy to have people allowed to do that at the same time because it undermines the trust in the system. And if part of what we're all trying to do is bring back the trust, my question is, how can we have, and I think there's ways to do it, somebody who's as great as Elon may be at helping the government figure out some of these things, but also do it in a way where parts of the country are not saying
let me say
that other people are enriching themselves.
I mean, everything you're saying is right. This is a challenge that we should take on and face head on. We should say, if Elon Musk wants to spend, 20% of his bandwidth making the country better, we should figure out how to do it.
Do you remember Elon when he answered those questions from you or from Faber so totally honestly with no thought about how it was going to affect his pocketbook? Do you remember when we asked, I think it was it Barry about Jeff Bezos? And you could immediately say what he did was totally about protecting his investment in the Washington Post.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you did, but some people did. But with Elon, I don't think he's the richest guy in the world. I don't think it has anything to do with lining his pockets. I think he's sincere.
There's no doubt that he did not make an economic decision
when
he bought Twitter.
Right, and when he said if advertisers don't want to come to Twitter, they can go after themselves.
I understand that, but all I'm saying is we have.
You think there's a perception that Elon is?
I don't know about it. I don't know what the perception is now, but look, in the last administration, when Trump was in charge in 2016 to 2020, there were, I think, fair questions to be asked. I think anybody, even you, I would think, fair questions to be asked about whether people, and by the way, fair questions about Biden, about whether these families were enriching themselves in ways that they shouldn't. By the way, fair questions about the Clintons back in the day. So all of these things undermine the trust that the country has. And so the question is, how can you get, it's how can you eat have your cake and eat it too, right? How can you have like an Elon Musk or an RFK or whomever they are doing the work and also do it without people feeling that somehow something else is happening.
Let's solve the live case. Elon Musk is a case that everybody is watching.
Right.
Let's figure this out.
Okay.
And on stock trading, we've talked about this before. I believe that for members of Congress, there should be a window between December 15th and January 15th when things are that they can trade and adjust their portfolios, and then allow them to have hardship and other exemptions during the course of the year. I think that would address that issue.
Totally.
Well, I missed the first part of this because I'm dealing with Anthony. We're if the country can do what we're doing, we're going to be.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with Elon helping out in any aspect. If he wants to use his resources to help the country be a better place, hey, let's get it, man. Let's get it, right? Absolutely. All right, what else do we got going on out there? So apparently, Mr. Sexist himself, he made the first female White House chief of staff. Oh, what a sexist thing! This guy hates women. My goodness. You can sense the sarcasm, I hope. What else do we got going on? XRP will lead the way in TradFi.
It's interesting, you know, it's just the Ripple conference, and it felt pretty TradFi, you know, compared to some of the other conferences I went to, and I can see it growing.
I was looking at your tweet. What odds would you give the appointments of Pierce as the chair? I'm kind of curious. What are you seeing now that you got a little bit of feedback? You think Pierce would be it, or maybe Ueda or someone else?
Well, when Gensler leaves, she's going to be the acting chair. I think that's what our regulatory guy said. Be 2 and 2. So okay. I think she'd be a great chair. I really like her. We've interviewed her for the podcast. She's a nice person. She's a libertarian. She thinks just, you know, disclose all the, you got to let the people have some choice. And she's more of a free market person. And I just think that's a better way to approach it. That's just my opinion. So I think she'd be great. And with her, I think you would see some of these coins approved. It's interesting.
I agree. You'd see a lot more progress in the crypto space in terms of regulation and things like that if we had someone like Hester Pierce or Mark Ueda leading the charge. Just in, Germany's parliament member Joanna Kotar says if the U.S. buys Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, then I think all of Europe countries will get FOMO. And I could not agree more with that, guys. I talked about it yesterday. We talked about it over on the Patreon. We did a Zoom call. We chatted about it. Guys, with the U.S. doing that, that's going to bring so many other countries to the table to want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they can. And as they continue to do that, the value is going to continue to increase. Just in. Leak reveals from Forbes magazine, guys, BlackRock has quietly doubled down on Bitcoin as the price suddenly rockets towards $100,000. So there you go, guys, straight from Forbes. BlackRock is doubling down. The question is, are you doubling down? A little bit of Myria update news, guys, because there's a lot of people panicking because of a stupid exchange like OKX, who nobody even uses anyway, delisting it. Myria, the Web3 gaming platform, Web3 goodness in-game ride shooter has, here bringing blockchain to where the action is with Myria game-specific SDKs. Congrats to all the current and soon-to-be holders of the Diamond Hand NFT. Check it out, guys. Starting today, holders of the Prime Founder Coin NFT can mint the exclusive Diamond Hand NFT directly within our game. Ridiculous shooter. So Myria continues to develop, projects continue to develop on their blockchain, on their network. You love to see it. And yeah, I think it's only, honestly, it's only a matter of time before we start getting Binance listings and stuff like that for Myria. And look at this guy. Look at this guy here. Listen, guys, very important. Because Trump won the election, this dude has decided he's going to leave the United States and move to Hawaii.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked. Yup. I'm going to be leaving the U.S. and I'm going to be moving to Hawaii.
There you go. He's leaving the United States and moving to Hawaii. You can't write this shit, guys. You can't write this shit. I love it. I absolutely love it. Somebody needs to tell him. Somebody needs to tell him. Simply Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve banks are private corporations, and their bonds are controlled by the banking industry. Why is this okay? And to piggyback off of that, guys, I have a little clip, and I could not agree more with that sentiment, guys. People don't tend to understand, you know, that scam. It's a scam, right? Most people think that the Federal Reserve is like a government agency. Listen up, guys.
Because I believe that it is the best way of coming at the world and what type of policy.
What is the proper relationship? What should be the proper relationship between a chairman of the Fed and a president of the United States?
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. So long as that is in place and there is no evidence that the administration or the Congress or anybody else is requesting that we do things other than what we think is the appropriate thing, then what the relationships are don't frankly matter. And I've had because I believe
there needs to be a little bit more control over the heads of government agencies than what there is. Like Gary Gensler is a perfect example of that. It's completely inappropriate that he can continue to do whatever he wants, despite the fact that courts are telling him to stop, Congress is telling him to stop, and he still won't stop, and no one can do anything about it. No one can fire him. Is an unacceptable scenario, right? Samil, what's up, my friend? Can I ask you to look at Wojak on ETH, please? My friend, of course you can. Of course you can, man. I got you. I'll look at that right now for you guys. Listen, guys, if you want me to have a look at your altcoin or your crypto, then just fire it over in the goal in the chat, and I will look at your altcoin for you. Wojak, actually, that's a meme coin, right? Didn't we look at that like a year ago? That's the green dude, isn't it? Wojak, yeah, W-O-J-A-K. Okay, I said A-K. A-K. There we go. It's the green, yeah, the green dude, yeah. It's the green dude, man. All right, what do we got here? $84 million market cap. Yeah, this was a big one last year, I believe, right? Let's go look at it. Yeah, it was pretty big. It peaked pretty good there. Came back up a little bit. 100% of the supply in circulation. All-time high 5 months ago. 1/10 of a cent. 201,864. What is it now? 20112. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's only down 33% from the all-time high. Up 777% on the year. It's had a pretty good year. It's having a little bit of a cool off. Wow, there's not even many listings either, eh? L Bank, by the way, L Bank is the channel sponsor. MEXC. You know what? This might not be a terrible hold, sleeper hold. I wouldn't go nuts into it. Like I wouldn't be dumping like thousands of dollars into it. But as a sleeper pick, I mean, if it can get a couple of centralized exchange listings, liquidity will probably flow through this one when actual meme coin season hits and alts are going parabolic. So, I mean, not financial advice, but throwing a couple $100 into this bad boy wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Yeah, it could get, you know, easily this thing could get to anywhere. I would say conservatively 3 to 5 cents would be completely realistic for this. 3 to 5 cents, and that's just conservative, right? Be safe, take profits, right? So that's, yeah, a little bit of a sleeper pick, but if the community can get going on it, I think it could do good things, man. I think it could do good things. So, yeah, not a bad little choice, my friend. All right, what else do we got going on out there? Again, guys, you want me to look at your altcoin, just throw it over. Check out the goal at the top of the chat. Rect Capital in the house. What's he saying? If you're feeling FOMO now, just know there will likely be another dip in the future. Exactly. So what he's saying here, guys, is that while we're on our way up, and I will show you this on the chart. And by the way, guys, holy crap, Bitcoin just smashed through 77,000. It's $77,148 right now. Holy freaking heck. So yes, so what he's saying, if I zoom out here, okay, I want to take you back here, okay, to the last parabolic bull run, like we always do. So what he's referring to, guys, is that, you know, while we do these shoots upwards, you do still have these little corrections. See, like 15-20% correction, then up, probably a 10% correction, up, right? There will be these opportunities to DCA still. Like, look right here, right? Up, boom. Look at that drop, probably a 40% drop, DCA, boom, right? So that's basically what he's saying, is that there will be opportunities nonetheless, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Gotta get back over to the top here. We got to monitor the price, baby. We're hitting price discovery mode right now. What the heck's going on? All right, what do we got? Look at that, guys. Look at them. Look at what Bitcoin has been doing. Mind-blowing, guys. Mind-blowing. You'll love to see it. All right, let's get, so that's what Rect Capital is referring to there. Let's get back into some more of the news. All right, so Justin, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has surpassed its gold ETF in assets in just 10 months. So BlackRock's ETF now is more valuable, holds more than their gold ETF in 10 months. Are you kidding me? This is historic. This is historic, guys. And of course, Pomp is dropping alpha on Fox Business.
The volatility on this thing is way too high for anybody to call that a savings account. I mean, you may like it, but I think that's a bridge too far right now, isn't it?
Over the last 30 years, the US dollar has lost 50% of its purchasing power. So in my lifetime, $1 now buys you 50% or 50 cents of service and goods. And so when you think about that, the most volatile asset that most people hold is the dollar, and they're on the wrong side of volatility. Bitcoin, on the other hand, over a long period of time appreciates. And so the best statistic to look at this is in 2016, the average median home was about $380,000. I'm sorry, $280,000. Today it's over $400,000, right? So 50% increase in the average home in America. During that same 8-year period, it used to cost 664 Bitcoin to buy that home. Today it costs 6 Bitcoin. Ooh. It has been a 99% reduction in the cost of a home in America if you held Bitcoin. And so another way to think about that is if you had about $5,000 of Bitcoin in 2016, today it could buy you a house.
But depending on the volatility on this thing is way.
Deal with that. You love to see it. You love to see it. What's Van Eck talking about, guys? Van Eck. Euphoria are already, Argentina and Ethiopia are already mining Bitcoin with government resources.
Yeah, it's a non-U.S. asset. It's an emerging markets asset. And while we were all hyperventilating about the election over the last week, BRICS had a conference in Russia. There's 6 new members of BRICS this year. So BRICS GDP is now greater than the combined GDP of G7. Of the 6 new members, 3 of them, Argentina, the UAE, and Ethiopia, are now mining Bitcoin with government resources. So there is tremendous urgency outside of the U.S. to find a way to circumvent the irresponsible fiscal policy that we've been running here in the U.S. In fact, Russia announced an initiative. Their sovereign wealth fund is going to invest in a regional initiative to build Bitcoin mining and AI infrastructure throughout BRICS with an idea of settling global trade in Bitcoin. So look, someday, I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, Putin's going to die. We're going to look to reintegrate some of these countries into the world financial system, and they're going to be trading with Bitcoin. What are we going to be doing?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. If Bitcoin is going to become a major asset globally, you want the United States to have a good supply of it. That is the point, guys. That is the point. All right. What else is going on? Excuse me. Ooh, XRP lawsuit at risk. Gensler's last attack against crypto may lead to more lawsuits. I told you guys, I'm fairly certain that this guy's going to start acting like a bull in a china shop when it comes to crypto, pulling a temper tantrum because he knows he is about to get fired. Ron Hammond, Director of Government Relations at the Blockchain Association, recently shared his views on the future of the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, the SEC under Gary Gensler, particularly in light of the political pressure on Gensler's leadership and potential changes in the coming months. It's not potential, it's 100% guarantee he is gone. It's not potentially gone, he's gone, right? In an interview with Thinking Crypto, when asked about the possibility of the SEC chair Gary Gensler ramping up enforcement actions before leaving office, Hammond said that such a scenario is entirely plausible. Like I just said, guys, he's going to start acting like a bull in a china shop. He's going to start smashing everything he can now, right? He pointed out that the political pressures have influenced the SEC's actions before, especially when the commission approved the Bitcoin ETF unexpectedly. Hammond explained that political forces might continue to shape Gensler's decisions, and he could file more lawsuits or take other aggressive actions before stepping down. He suggested that, given the controversial nature of Gensler's tenure, we could see more last-minute moves from the SEC in the months ahead. So Elizabeth Warren is going to start telling Gary Gensler to start smashing everything he possibly can moving forward. You watch, you watch. You're going to start seeing lawsuits and Wells notices flowing out of the SEC like it's raining. Guys, I'm telling you. Hammond also referenced several SEC enforcement actions, particularly the case involving Coinbase, where the SEC issued a Wells notice just hours before Coinbase was set to testify before the House committee. This, he argued, suggested that the SEC's actions may have been strategically timed to disrupt the ongoing conversations about crypto market structure. Looking ahead, Hammond expressed hope that Gensler might resign by the end of the year, which could bring significant changes to the SEC's stance on cryptocurrencies. However, he warned that even if Gensler leaves, the cryptocurrency industry will still face challenges, and it's uncertain whether new leadership will be more crypto-friendly. Of course it will be more crypto-friendly. Come on. The future of cryptocurrency regulation remains uncertain. Hammond emphasized that the next phase of the crypto regulation will depend heavily on who takes over the SEC. The leadership change could determine whether the SEC adopts a more crypto-friendly policy, but much is still up in the air. And I have more to discuss when it comes to that, guys. And that is, this is the guy that we want to take over if it's not Hester Pierce, okay? This is Mark Ueda. He is a commissioner at the SEC currently, and this is his position on what they've been doing.
Mark Ueda. Mark, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's great to be here.
What is the SEC doing regarding crypto?
Well, I think our policies and our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster for the whole industry. We have been setting this policy through enforcement. We've done nothing to provide guidance on it. And as a result, this is being shaped by the courts. And different courts have ruled different ways. I think what this Wells notice is, and while I won't comment on the specifics of this litigation, the Wells, what has gone on is part of a broader frustration with the fact that we have not provided interpretive guidance as to what you can and cannot do. And if you are involved in some sort of securities offering, how you register, how you get regulated as a broker-dealer, how you get registered as an exchange.
And you say, moving forward, Mark Ueda. Mark, it's great to have you this morning.
Gary Gensler's commissioners, guys, publicly on national television, calling him out. You absolutely love to see that. Again, guys, just so you know, I will get to the chat in the second half of the stream, so just be patient with that. I think, what do we got here? I think it's a great thing about the administration, which we didn't have last time, is that one thing, the brightest minds of our era, like Elon Musk, are involved this time around. Check it out.
Founder and portfolio manager. I don't know whether we can get any more definitive clarity or make definitive decisions on tech than on a lot of the things we discuss that we've been discussing in earnest since we found out the results of Tuesday's election. Dan, do you think you have a clear picture of how it's going to play out with tech?
I mean, the great news, Joe, is that we've already had this before. We had Trump for 4 years. We know what he was focused on. It's not any different this time around. And I think the big thing is that I still feel like an equal weighted basket of stocks is the better way to go than this focus on tech. And if you go back to 2016, after the election, the S&P was up 5% from there through year end. But the sectors that led it were energy, financials, industrials that were up 11%, while the S&P was up 5%. The information technology sector was just up 2%. And so I think, and by the way, the information technology sector had been up about 10% coming into the election. So we know where President Trump's focus is going to be. And I think an equal weighted basket of stocks makes the most sense. Within tech, obviously, you have to think about some of the companies differently. I think with Elon involved going forward, things like crypto or AI are going to get a lot more focus. So names like NVIDIA and less regulation, which will help things like Google potentially not getting broken up, obviously should benefit Tesla as they get treated more fairly relative to the unionized big three Detroit automakers. And so I think those are names that you think about and say, that could be a lot more interesting going forward than it was in the past.
What about the I don't know, lack of a better term, the mercurial nature of some of the decisions that it seemed like even the first time around that President Trump would make? Some of it at times it even seemed almost personal against CEOs or owners of certain companies. Do you need to take that into account? Do you think he'll, I don't know, some of the criticism that he may have received, will that be different this time around? Do you think he's learned from the his first stint as president?
Well, I mean, I think Trump is Trump. He's going to do what he's going to do. I think the great thing about this administration, which we didn't have the last time, is you have one of the brightest minds of our era who's really been able to change multiple industries, space, healthcare with Neuralink, obviously EV, and who's very efficient at running these companies involved. And I think having business people being much more involved in the actual way to make the US better in areas like technology and competitiveness against other countries, where other countries are trying to support their biggest companies. In the US over the prior administration, unfortunately, big was bad. And there was more regulations or attempts to break them up, like in the case of Google. And that puts the US at a competitive disadvantage against other countries. And so for me, I feel like Trump learning that, hey, we want more business people potentially involved with this to help figure out how to solve some of these problems is a good thing. And so I think maybe that's one of the things that was picked up.
This guy looks like AI, doesn't he? Doesn't he look like an AI generated thing? Watch him talk real quick.
Unfortunately, big was bad. And there was more regulations or attempts to break them up, like in the case of Google. And that puts the US at a competitive disadvantage against.
He looks fake. I don't think he's real. What else do we got? Ash Crypto, $4,460 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum options are set to expire today. So expect some high volatility, guys. If you see some volatility in the market, that is definitely why you are seeing it. What else do we got? The German government lost $1.1 billion for selling Bitcoin at low prices. If you recall, they sold about 50,000 Bitcoin earlier. Was it 6 months in the summer? And they sold, if they had held it, they would be that much better for it right now. Let's get into another article here, guys. Trump's victory could shake things up in the crypto industry. In the lead up to the United States presidential election, Republican candidate Donald Trump made more than a few promises to the crypto industry. Now that he has been elected, big changes could be on the horizon. It has become clear Trump has become Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, has beaten Kamala Harris for the White House. Bitcoin stormed to new all-time highs and has continued to climb, reaching 76,800 as of yesterday. It is actually right now, guys, at $77,110. Speaking to Cryptopolitan, Alice Liu, head of research at CoinMarketCap, said Trump's victory could continue to shake things up in the crypto industry. What do we got? His plans include dismantling current regulatory frameworks, appointing a Bitcoin and crypto advisory council to lead the SEC. That is massive. That is massive. That's what she said. He also discussed reducing regulatory hurdles for the industry, making a sharp contrast to the Biden administration's focus on strict oversight and consumer protection. However, Liu thinks one promise in particular could prove a massive boon for the crypto industry in the long run. Trump has created a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and that is a discussion we had on the Patreon last night, guys. We talked about what about Trump's election is the most bullish factor for crypto and Bitcoin specifically. And we discussed the strategic reserve asset angle and how other countries are going to start doing the same thing. Guys, join the conversation. Get over to the Patreon. The link is in the chat. It's in the description. Join us for our group Zoom calls and book your one-on-one coaching calls as well. Samil, I'll get to your question there in one moment, my friend. Just let me get through this article. If successful, the U.S. would be the first major economy to treat Bitcoin as a reserve asset, which could attract institutional investment and send a strong signal to other countries about the viability of cryptocurrencies. Trump's second presidential term won't officially begin until January 20th of 2025 on Inauguration Day. Jonathan JASM, global head of policy at crypto exchange Kraken, told Cryptopolitan the election outcome is likely a significant turning point for crypto policies. Under the Biden administration, the Securities and Exchange Commission, through Chair Gary Gensler, cracked down heavily on crypto firms. According to research by litigation consulting firm Cornerstone Research, SEC enforcement actions under Gary Gensler hit a 10-year high in 2023, with the majority of those involving crypto firms. The agency has yet to release its annual enforcement report for fiscal 2024 actions. However, in the October 21st notice, the SEC's Division of Examinations released priorities for 2025, listing crypto as an examination priority. So Gensler's trying to make attacking crypto their top priority at the SEC. Meanwhile, all this other stuff is going on in the financial industry and securities, and Gensler's ignoring them all to attack crypto. President Trump and his team made crypto an important part of their campaign platform, and we saw many new pro-crypto members elected to Congress from both parties. Our lawmakers and industry have worked very hard over the last several years to progress nonpartisan legislation to regulate centralized intermediaries, not code. Corey Clipston, CEO of Bitcoin platform Swan Bitcoin, told Cryptopolitan that he thinks Trump's victory could prove to be a mixed bag, with a mix of pro-business rhetoric and some anti-crypto sentiment from those looking to protect the USD status quo. Citing critics of crypto have flagged it as a potential threat to the dominance of the US dollar in the global economy by reducing the reliance of other countries on the US financial system. Trump's administration could impose short-term headwinds on Bitcoin by maintaining a harsh stance. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that. The vice president literally holds Bitcoin. Like, are you kidding me? Speaking of Cryptopolitan, Greg Magadini, director of derivatives at crypto data firm Amber Data, said that most prominent medium-term effects of the Trump presidency could be the relaxation of regulations against builders in the space. Freeing Ross Ulbricht and firing Gary Gensler enables protocol builders to feel confident in government isn't against them, he said. This is very constructive for L1 chains such as Ethereum and Solana, whose value is derived from protocols being built on and used on the L1. Overall, he thinks DeFi will be a massive winner out of this, with a potential relaxation of U.S. citizens' restrictions against protocol use down the track. Another aspect, guys, that I think we're going to see is that we're going to see more exchanges that are not available in the U.S. are going to start flowing into the U.S. So that means that there's going to be a lot more accessibility to all of you guys in the U.S. So that is another thing I would look forward to, right? In your areas, you're very limited by the amount of exchanges that you can use. And I think that that's going to start to change over the next couple of years. You guys are going to be able to, a lot more centralized exchanges are going to be coming into your areas, right? Your KuCoins, your L banks, your BitTrues, your, stuff like that, right? So absolutely very, very positive on that. All right, what else do we got here? We got another super chat from Samil. I have another one for you. Lucky Dog on base, brand new. Pull up the chart on Gecko Terminal. Let me have a look at that for you, brother. I'll check on CoinGecko. If I can't find it there, I'll look on Dex Tools. What's the ticker again? Lucky Dog. Is this the one you're talking about right here? 25% pump action today. Wow, this is an early one. Look at that, eh? It's only got a $5.5 million market cap. Very, very early. I like it. 100% of the supply is in circulation, and it doesn't have trillions, so I like the tokenomics. And I do think that, people should get exposure to base as well, whether it's a meme coin or not. All-time high was 15 hours ago. Yeah, you know what? Man? Absolutely. Where's it listed right now? Only on Aerodrome and Uniswap version base. What I would say, man, is that I would absolutely, me personally, not financial advice, but I would absolutely scoop some of this up. Just like I would throw like $500 into it. You're probably looking at a good one. So yeah, I like it. Look at that. I dig it, man. I dig it. Let me go have a look at the live chart here, like you're saying. Up and to the left. Up and to the left, brother. Or to the right, I mean to the left. Look at this. Yeah, she looks good, man. Look at that moonshot. And you know what the funny thing is? It's only got a $5.6 million market cap. It's still early, man. This one's still going to run. Yeah. That's the 15-minute. What's the daily look like? Boom. Look at the daily. Yeah, I don't even care, man. I would throw a couple $100 into this just to see what happens. On Gecko, yeah. This is the one you're talking about, right? Pretty sure this is the one is this the one you're talking about? I'm on it right now. Let me know, man. Let me know, brother. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, Nubian King back as a member again. Welcome back, brother. Where you been? I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute, man. How you been, brother? How's the roads? How is the roads? Okay, so that's it. Yeah, this one's gonna. I honestly, man, if you're holding this one, I would continue. For me, I would continue to hold it for now. It's just me. That's what I would personally do. This is very, very early. If you can get this one to like 25, even $50 million market cap, it's only at a $5 million market cap right now. Yes, major cup and handle, kind of, a little bit, starting to form there. Yeah. So this one could run, man. This one could absolutely run. Absolutely, brother. Good eye. You got a good eye, man. I dig it. All right. What else do we got? You got like $5,000 in it. Well, what I would say is as soon as you can like maybe double that, your $5,000, I would take my $5,000 back out and then I would just let it run. That's what I would do, man. If I put 5 G bars into it, as soon as that sucker increases and doubles, I take my initial investment out and I just let the rest ride. That's how I would handle that, man. All right, so what else do we got here? CNN's panel, TD goes off. Check it out.
If you look at the arc of the Biden presidency, he was in really good shape until August of 2021. When Afghanistan happened, he went under 40, she went under 40, and they really lived there until the end of the He's still there.
Why? Look, I'll tell you why.
Because he ran and told us that the adults were back in charge, and that was the opposite.
Yeah, they
of
were
that.
because
and
Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
He's a
the fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families the time of
bullshit,
day.
Dude.
Time of day.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers. He did. He absolutely despises. He has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just,
of course I am. I'm terrified.
I'm telling you, the political reality is that when they made that decision,
it doesn't matter. When you don't admit
that
Donald Trump hates veterans. You don't admit it. You deny a man, Chief John Kelly, a Marine. You deny. You say he lied.
You're still campaigning.
You say he lied.
Let me let
it's not over. It'll never be. I want to hear what It'll never be over. You wish.
The political reality is when they made that decision and everyone realized, oh my gosh, these aren't the competent adults that we were promised.
Donald Trump is.
And then when you pile on top of it, the decision.
Look how fucking mad he is. Look.
that made inflation worse. It was a compounding interest of political crap over time that they could never get out of, and that's how she lost the race.
There was a bipartisan consensus to get out of Afghanistan. That wasn't the point. It was the way it was
Trump's
done.
decision to get
No, hold on. It was the implementation. It was the fact that they took out our soldiers first instead of last, which is you would think would be common sense. And again, it's like you said, we thought the adults were in the room. That's why people voted for Biden. A return to normalcy, a return to competence. He's a lifelong public servant. We thought we're going to get normal, we're going to get competent. And that's what
we did. We did. And if in the veterans community,
Afghanistan doesn't signal that.
The wars in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, the Republican policies that led to those wars, the idea that Joe Biden made the final difficult decision, and his administration and his military leaders. I mean, you guys live on the tippy top of bullshit mountain. If you actually think that so many people think that the pullout of Afghanistan was the pivot point, are you kidding me?
I mean, I can read a chart and I can read a poll. I guess you can't. But the reality is when he made that decision,
your petty insults
when he made
are so weak, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even understand if you hear yourself talking.
Look,
you can laugh all you want, but like I can't read a chart. Like it's just so hacky. It's so uninteresting.
Look, the reason that we brought this up is because that was from a Democratic.
He's butthurt. He's so butthurt. Oh man, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing seeing these people break down. Let's talk about the labor market.
Another 25. We're on the right track.
Yes, and I think a few more. We heard from Chair Powell, monetary policy is restrictive. If it's restrictive right now, it's restrictive with another 25 basis points. I mean, any policy mix that we're going to get from the new administration, we're only really going to hear about that late next year. So I think the Fed is on a steady path. As they get closer to that neutral rate, I think they can slow down. So it could be 25 a quarter. But I think there's still a lot more rate cuts than I.
Is the neutral rate changed, given that ever since the Fed did the jumbo cut, all we've seen is the long end tick higher, the 10-year.
So I don't think it's the neutral rate, it's the fear around the deficit. And, let's be clear, the deficit is on an unsustainable track. I don't think the level of debt is an issue. There's a lot of demand. There's a lot of money that's sitting on the sidelines. As the Fed cuts interest rates, those money market yields go down, that money is coming into fixed income. I think makes a lot of sense. You ask about that neutral rate. I think if we get the policy mix, and let's see do we get more tariffs? Do we get deregulation? I do think deregulation can raise our star. This is stuff we're going to look at the data, and I think the Fed doesn't know where that neutral rate is. I'm in the 3.5% camp. I think the Fed is a little lower than that. We're at 4.5%. So there's still a lot of room till we figure out what that neutral rate is. We have to look at the economy. I would say the labor market is slowing. It's still normalizing. and that sort of allowing the Fed to cut, maintain the soft landing. And then we have to look at the entire policy mix. But the one point I'll highlight, a lot of us are looking at 2016. The inflation backdrop is so different today. The debt backdrop is very different. You know, you have Elon Musk that's going to try and set up Doge or whatever, try and get, spending cuts or efficiencies. I think even President Trump knows that he doesn't have a blank check from the bond market. The bond market, you talk about this move, a lot of this move is the bond market saying, not so fast, we're not writing you a blank check. And I think the administration's going to understand that and try and find some pay-fors as they sort of think about tax cuts.
The Fed doesn't seem to really have a very good, record or ability to look forward. So now the election, all the things that they're doing were based on things that have already happened. Should they be doing anything differently based on the proposed policies of what a Trump administration looks like? Suddenly it seems like all bets are off for what they've been.
Right, and I think Chair Powell was asked a lot about that. I am sure they're doing scenario analysis. But look at everything that's being talked about, right? From deregulation, tariffs, trade negotiation, taxes. Do we get fiscal stimulus or do we just get a redistribution? Does it come out of efficiency? Do you just extend the tax cuts or do you actually get more tax cuts? I think it is so uncertain that for the Fed, I think everyone talks about them being data dependent. They're really outlook dependent. Did their outlook change? I don't think so. Now, did the distribution of outcomes become a lot wider? Yes, and I'm sure they're going to analyze it. But as Chair Powell said, they're going to look at what are the policy proposals, what's actually making its way. Are the tariffs going through as proposed, or is that a negotiating tool? I think we don't know. And as they think about inflation growth, they've got the dual mandate. I think we'll be hearing a lot more from them as we know what's the #1 priority and what actually is taking shape.
Right.
I agree. I do think we're going to see multiple more rate cuts. Not only we're going to see one more this year, but I think we're going to see more going into next year as well. No doubt about it, in my opinion, guys. Stock to flow model, the Bitcoin stock to flow model is forecasting a $420,000 Bitcoin by as early as April of 2025. Yeah, I don't freaking think so, but I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong on that one. That would be fantastic. Make me wrong all day long on that $420,000 Bitcoin. Check it out, man. Ramsey and Scaramucci bickering on Squawkbox.
Into somebody like me.
Is that what he said, Vivek?
Oh,
is that what he's going to do?
He said it.
So let me see if I can.
We'll go to the
be
tape.
helpful here for a second, guys. Let me just take a moment to say this was a decisive win. All right, let's put aside whether you're a Republican or Democrat. This is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote.
I admitted that it was
decades.
decisive. And Joe wants something more. He wants like an extra pound of flesh or something like that.
So I
admitted that it was a win. I congratulated you guys.
So I think this is useful in one way, which is we have had a heated year and a half headed into this election. And right now, in these few days afterwards, let's process what happened. Okay, you have every county that Joe Biden performed well in, every county across the country. There was not one in which Kamala Harris did better. Now, this is not to dunk on the other side. What I'm in this to say is that decisive win gives us an opportunity as a country. And my advice to our fellow Republicans is that after, yes, we won and won decisively, we're done criticizing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the past. Let's turn the page to chase the future. One of the things I loved about Donald Trump's victory speech, and I was personally there, was him beginning to talk about this golden age in America. I think everyone wants that golden age, a growing economy, an immigration system that works. We now have an electoral mandate to deliver it. And so to Republicans, my ask is, you know what, let's put aside our own sense of grievance or vengeance or whatever. We won, let's use it. We'll run into something. And my ask of Democrats and to those on the left who may not have liked Donald Trump and may not like him still is to say, just give him a chance and give us a chance to say that, you know what, we have a chance to unite this country in a way that we have not in a very long time. Most people favor economic growth. Most people want to pay lower taxes. Most people want an American dream for their kids and an immigration system that works and secure borders for our country and don't want their kids lining up to fight in World War III. That's the opportunity that we have. And I think it's a generational opportunity that we shouldn't squander. And so, even to those who disagreed, my ask is give us a chance. And we're going to do our part by exhibiting, I hope, some grace to the people who we believe we're wrong. But in moving this country forward, that's what we're looking to do.
Vivek, can I say something, Andrew, or not yet?
Please. No, Anthony, absolutely. And I just wanted to
not
suggest
only
that I appreciate the point about the grace.
Yeah, but not only do I agree with Vivek about all of that, the only thing that I would say to Vivek and the Trump people, just be very careful setting up deportation camps and deportation centers. They've got people on 60 Minutes talking about rounding up all the family members. There are people making suggestions that they're going to renounce birthright citizens for moms that are illegal where the child was born in the United States. I would just say, listen, if we're talking about grace, I would put aside those sorts of things, and I would focus on growing the economy and making people more prosperous. You know, if Joe has an issue with me, that's fine. But let's look at the videotape of what the president-elect was saying during the campaign, and let's Joe and I sit down and go over that tape, and Joe will tell me what he likes about some of that rhetoric. Okay, you know.
Well, Anthony, I got a suggestion.
I don't
got
like
a suggestion here,
so,
Anthony.
yeah,
If I may, I got a suggestion. Forget the tape of the past. Let's talk about some healthy debates in areas where I have some disagreements with you on the future.
Let's not fulfill those types of campaign promises, Vivek. We don't want those type of campaign promises fulfilled where we're going to use the American military against political
You laid out your
adversaries.
view. You laid out your view. I hear you. Let me lay out the alternative case for you, which is on the case of mass deportations and securing the border. Here's the basic premise. If your first act of entering the United States of America violated the law, if you lied to the U.S. government to enter, then you broke the law, and we're a nation founded on the rule of law. That is separate from our attitude towards legal immigration, which needs some serious reform to benefit this country. But I do think that that is a campaign promise that is worth keeping, even looking at smart things we can do out of the gate for voluntary deportations. You could self-deportation, end the incentives, stop funding sanctuary cities, end the usage of the welfare state by anybody who entered this country illegally, end government benefits for somebody who broke the law in entering this country. We're going to see a large wave of self-deportations from those steps alone. There's a lot of people who are still in detention. Just one more idea to make it really tangible.
I think that's the question. I think, by the way, in terms of also healing the country, right? As Anthony said, there's still 67 million people who voted on the other end. And the question is, how do you actually bring those people together? And I think there is a level of, or a question about what kind of grace goes into how the immigration piece of this is solved. And that's not to say that it doesn't need to be solved. It 100% needs to be solved. It needs to be solved quickly. But, you know, all those edge cases, can it be done with grace, right? I mean, I think that's a real question. You know, we learned during the campaign, and by the way, I'm so glad that this guy is in this country and is here now and is hopefully going to do great things for this country. I'm actually talking about Elon Musk. But, you know, there were questions about his immigration status at one point. And so the point is how we can do this in a way that actually benefits the country and that people feel good about it. And I think the important point about this honeymoon period, if there is one at all, is to do it in a way where everybody is brought together and with this administration and to also not belittle, and I'm not suggesting you are at all, but to belittle those who may have questions and may care deeply about trying to hold, frankly, folks accountable for what they're saying. And I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Absolutely, Andrew. And a few things. First of all, I will never belittle those who ask questions. To the contrary, we're going to be the best version of ourselves when we have open debate and we're questioned. On the question of grace, which I agree is an important part of moving this country forward, let's be more specific about to whom that grace is owed. And I have a view on that. That is to Americans who already live here. The 67 million people who voted in this election, let's hope that didn't include too many illegal immigrants to this country, but to the people who legally voted as citizens of this country in the election, even on the other side, that's the people to whom we owe grace. So on the question of immigration here, I think first principles could be a good place to start. Think about your country like a body. No migration without consent. Consent should only be granted and should be granted to migrants who benefit America. But those who enter without consent must be removed. I think those are fair principles that most Americans actually agree with. Now let's actually look at acting upon it. Well, if I may just finish on how practical I believe it is. Remain in Mexico was the law of the land when Trump was president. Courts have actually held that it is still the law of the land right now under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It just isn't being enforced. You have millions of migrants who are already in detention. Anyone who's committed a crime after coming here, automatic deportation. Anybody who violated the law while they're here, automatic deportation. People who are already in detention, who have not yet even integrated into the communities of this country, who have come even over the course of the last year. 12 months is not a time period for establishing roots. Easy case, automatic deportation. The question of birthright citizenship, because this is one of the most controversial ones, and you brought it up, so I want to go to the controversial case here. The kid of an illegal born in this country should not automatically enjoy birthright citizenship, just as the kid of a Mexican diplomat who's here legally in the country. If he has a kid on the soil of the United States, that kid doesn't enjoy birthright citizenship. No one thinks he does. The 14th Amendment is clear on that. The same goes for somebody who intentionally entered this country illegally for that purpose. And so, yes, some of this is going to spark some serious debate. We should have that debate.
You're going to have a nightmare on your hands, Vivek.
But I do think that we can
Pandora's box.
I think we can pragmatically and in a principled way, in a way that respects people, actually says that if you're going to come to this country legally and you're going to make contributions to this country and integrate, that's what the United States of America is at our best, and we've always been. But that is separate from really prioritizing those who have entered the country illegally and are exploiting our welfare state. And I believe if we're able to do this in a principled way that respects basic human dignity, but above all, the citizens of this country, that's the kind of grace I want to see for all Americans, and to actually respect their interests, whether or not they voted for us.
So no more blurring the lines, right? No more blurring the lines. All right, guys, let's go back over to Bitcoin, and then we'll get into the chat. So, fourth day in a row, Bitcoin has put in a new all-time high. You absolutely love it. We continue to stair-step our way upwards. Very, very good stuff. I'm waiting for another candle like this one. Guys, it's coming. Let me put that back up. All right, let's get into the chat here real quick, guys. See what everybody's talking about. Scroll all the way back up to the top. William, what's up, buddy? First one here. Good to see you, my main man. Guys, as always, please make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, and it means the whole wide world to me. That's absolutely amazing. Jesse James, yo, what's up, man? Rob Father, happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. I forgot it was Friday. Big Kev, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. D-Gen, good to see you. WF Capital in the house. We are ripping, gripping, jack stacked, and fanny packed, brother. What's up, big dog? Nicholas in the house. Good to see you, man. Venom, hey, Rob, can you get a translation to get JASMY Junction AMA for golden? Yes, I am working on the translation for that. Yes, I am working on tracking that down, brother. Facts in the house. What's up, man? Hopefully you fellas bought some groggo. Yeah, how's it pumping today, man? When you called it yesterday, it was up like 700%, wasn't it? What's it up today? It's up another 273% groggo by Matt Fur. Yes. It's up 1,100% on the 2 week. Wow. Good call by Facts. You nailed that one, brother. Can you look at Spirax? Yes, I can look at that for you. You just got to participate in the goal of the channel, my friend, and I can do that for you. Rob the man, let's get this party started. Absolutely. Samil in Edmonton. Man, you're only like 14 hours away from me. I'm in Winnipeg, brother. Facts, no, but I did load up on Lucky Dog. Yes, which was another good pickup, man. My spirit animal's Jasmy. Sorry, should we cancel YouTube subscription and move on to the Patreon? I mean, you can have either or both. Some people have both for the different perks. But over on the Patreon, Samil, you do get, we do group Zoom calls there every single day where we all chat together, sometimes 2 a day. And you also get to book one-on-one coaching calls with me as well through Zoom also. So you get different perks over there for sure. So I would highly recommend that everybody get over there because you're definitely missing out. Sun is hot in the house. What's up, man? Hit my goal of 2 million Swift. Nice. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I dig it, man. I dig it. Edge, should I sell KASPA? Well, Edge, listen, I can't tell you what to do with your money, but what I would say is that in my personal opinion, selling KASPA would be a tragic mistake at this point in time. That's just my opinion. Green Tea in the house. What's up, man? Simon, we have to hold 77K to continue up. No, We don't have to hold 77K to continue up, my friend. We have to hold 75.6 to continue up. 77 is the new all-time high. But we don't have to hold 77.2. We don't have to hold the all-time high to continue upwards, though. But I get what you're saying, brother. I get what you're saying. Les, you're a good news channel. I'm enjoying it. Thanks, Rob. A one-on-one would be good when you have time around this time. Okay, generally, as you're generally awake. No problem, Wes or Les. No problem, brother. I'll get you in, man. John, what's up, man? I gave you a shout out at the beginning of the stream. We saw that Crow was pumping like Crow is up 20.9% on the day, man. Absolutely. Mobile's up 29.4%. Somebody asked me over on the Patreon about 3 days ago if mobile, I think it was Dumb Money. Dumb Money was asking me about it. Yeah, it's up 29.5% today, brother. So I hope you're reaping those benefits. Beebs, scam. What's up, buddy? GT, Rob, how high does Bitcoin need to go for alts to start running hard in your opinion? I mean, it's not so much how high does it have to go, but it's really, I mean, it will continue to pull alts up randomly, but alts will pump randomly, right? The problem is a lot of people are expecting their small caps like XCN, for example, and JASMY and Swift, Myria. These projects are not going to start to run until much, much later because they're the small caps, right? So we see liquidity in Bitcoin. And then that liquidity, as Bitcoin dominance starts to fall, we see that liquidity start to enter into Ethereum and, the blue chips, right? Chainlink, the XRPs, the Cardanos, the top 10, top 20, let's say, right? So that's, we start to see that. And then, so obviously it works its way down from high cap to low cap to mid cap to low cap, and small cap comes last, right? As you can see, Bitcoin dominance here is continuing to come down, which is great. It's fantastic. But the small, tiny cap projects are going to be running last, guys. That's what people need to realize, right? And I know, GT, I know you get that, but I'm just saying in general, because I get a lot of people, asking me. So I think that for alts to really start to move, though, I think once we see we need to put in another candle like this to really confirm that this is the direction we're now going in, right? That the parabolic part is beginning. I think that's what we need to see. We need to see another massive candle here in the next couple of days. Hopefully today or tomorrow would be nice. Then you'll start to see alts get dragged up even more, right? But it will be random. That's the thing. The altcoins will be random, just like they are now, right? You have random coins. Crow's pumping, Mobile's pumping. Some are down, right? DK, I'm not satisfied with the performance of JASMY compared to Bitcoin. It jumped about 20% in the last few days, but it is weak compared to June. Why is that so? I just explained that, DJ. Hopefully you caught my explanation that I just gave. Beebs, Rob, can you, are you packing your bags on Myria? Oh, of course I am, man. Scam. 100% I am. I said at the beginning of the stream there that I think that Myria is a fantastic pickup right now. I've been monitoring their Telegram too. I have an application that's sent in right now. I let everybody know. I don't know if I told you guys here, but I did let everybody know over on the Patreon that I actually put in an application for a team member of Myria to come on the channel for an interview. So that's pending right now. Hopefully that happens, right? DK, Bitcoin is holding dominance. JASMY will explode in January, especially once the PDL is released. I agree, Big Kev. I agree, man. KD3, could you look at Pepe prediction, just the meme? Generally, you have to participate in the channel goal for that, my friend, and I will get to your meme. I will get to your altcoins for you. No problemo. Lord of the Realm, good afternoon. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Mr. D, can you look at Polyswarm NCT? Like I said, you just got to participate in the goal, guys, in the channel, and I will look at your altcoin requests for you. Love seeing BTC continuing breaking all-time highs. Yes, it's fantastic. So freaking bullish. ETH has broken through 3K. Have we broken through 3K? Oh yeah. Yeah, we did. Look at that. Nice. 3K. Dumb money in the house. What's up, buddy? MAGA on the rise. Is MAGA rising again? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's up 6.8%. Starting to make another little leg up there. Very nice. Very, very nice. I think the engines are primed and ready, sir. Yes, exactly. Let's go. Beebs, I'm so ready for the crypto-friendly SEC. No kidding, eh? Green Tea, mind blown about the Bitcoin and buying house. Oh, well. I'm not too late for hopefully buying. No, Key. Yeah, I'm continuing to DCA so far. With Myria being delisted by OKX, isn't that a big deal? Some people are overreacting to it, in my opinion, to be honest with you. It didn't even faze me. Did not even faze me. Gary loves to get spanked by Elizabeth. Nice. Beebs, Rob, do you think with Trump being the next president will increase Bitcoin and crypto's price targets? Yes, I do. Yes, I do think that it increases, the size of this bull run for sure. I do think that's going to make a big difference, man. Hangman, what's the news on Crow's ETF? Crow? I never heard anything about a Crow ETF, brother. That's news to me. What do we got? I'm back, brother. I took some time off and just stacked up some coins. Nice. Well, I'm happy you're back, broski. It's good to see you, man. Have you looked into TARS AI on Solana at all? William, no, I have not, my friend. I've never... Actually, I think I looked at that the other day, but I can't really remember too much about it. MW, wonder what ever happened to the soy boy that was here for a few months ago that was mad about Rob saying Trump was good for crypto. He probably blocked me or something. How low did BTC dominance come down the previous times with altcoin kicking off? Are we close? No, we're not close. Bitcoin dominance needs to fall significantly lower, probably somewhere around 40%, something like that. But we're on our way. We're on our way, right? Can we expect another dip maybe sometime this month or next? I think probably maybe a little bit of profit taking around Christmas, maybe. But I don't see anything larger than about 15 to 20%, to be honest with you. Not until Q2 of next year, maybe the end of Q1. Rob, going to be the Lightning versus Devils on Saturday. You're going to the game? Nice. That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. I'm jealous. I am jealous. I got to get out to another game. You know what, man? Next year, next season, we gotta go to some games, man. After the bull run will be over, our profits will be taken. We gotta go to some games, man. Hoping for another dip. Focus on Velo now. Yes. Well, I mean, every single little dip, no matter what it is a good opportunity, Stargazer. Facts. Selling KASPA is crazy. How easily people get... Yes, I agree. I agree, Facts. Selling KASPA right now would be a massive mistake, in my opinion. I want Crow under 10 cents. Crow's been under 10 cents for a while, hasn't it? What's it up to now? Is it back up over... well, yeah, it's pumped 20% now. It's 11 cents. I was watching it. I was monitoring at like 8 cents and stuff. Fact says it's called normal expected retrace considering throughout. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And this is the thing that really gets me, Facts, is that people ask me about individual coins and they're like, why is this coin not performing? Like, the whole market right now is an entire mixed bag of nuts because it's Bitcoin season. Bitcoin needs to do its thing before alts will do anything, right? And some people, I guess they just don't get that. Like, they're like, well, Bitcoin's going. Why are my alts not going? Look at this here, guys. I'll show you something, okay? Facts, I know you get this, but this is the altcoin season chart. Look, we're right down here. We are in Bitcoin season right now, guys, right? We're not even close to altcoin season. This is why alts are not pumping right now. Liquidity is flowing into Bitcoin, not altcoins. Altcoins come later, right? Mobile's pumping hard today. Yeah, it's up like 30% or something now, eh? Shane, what's up, buddy? Hey, Rob, do you think it's late to get into Doge? Department of yeah, that's the thing. I've been watching that one as well, right? I know it's been doing good. Let me try to find it here. Yeah, it's up another 58% today, right? 53%, sorry. $152 million market cap. It's got good tokenomics is the thing, right? I don't know, man. Like, it's always a risk with meme coins. I mean, look how much it's run up in the last month, right? If it was me personally on this, I probably would just sit on the sidelines and wait for a significant pullback on it. I mean, it could continue to rip from here. That's a risk you're going to have to take when it comes to altcoin or meme coins. But I think the risk is too high of aping in right now and then it correcting like 30 or 40 or 50%, right? I would wait to see if there's any kind of a correction. And if there's no correction and it keeps pumping, no big deal, man, right? It's no big deal when you miss an altcoin or a meme coin or something, right? It's like standing at a bus stop, man. You've missed the bus. Guess what? Another one's coming around the corner in 15 minutes, right? Don't make mistakes. Think strategically, right? Is Polygon still worth a buy? Not hearing so much good news about it. I think it's I mean, market cap's kind of high and it's an older coin, but Matic will still do well. Yes, Matic will still do well. No one can have my KASPA bags. You can't have my cornbread. Yeah, I've been buying Crow at 7 cents. Yeah, Crow's going to do well. I do like Crow. I don't hold any Crow, but I do like it. I should have picked some up in the bottom of the bear market, but I didn't. And I mean, like I said a few minutes ago, you can't catch them all, guys. They're not Pokemon, right? Funky says, love my stacked Crow. Got all staked 1 year, 20% comes out. Nice. Nice. What do we got? Hey, Rob, what's your opinion about Algorand? I love Algorand. I do hold Algorand. It's in my top 5, I think, top 6. I am very, very bullish on Algorand. I think they did a lot of good work developing through the course of this bear market. And I think they're going to see the fruits of their labor going into this bull run. They've come up with a lot of new partnerships, not a lot of new collaborations. I just talked about it 2 days ago, how they're also coming, they're bringing more DeFi staking to Algorand. So you're going to have a fantastic TVL on that as well in their ecosystem. Big things are coming in the Algorand ecosystem, in my opinion. They've done a great job. I like Algorand. Funky, the Department of Government F is going to be a big rug pull. Elon only promotes OG Doge. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair assessment, I suppose. Musk is so influential. I'm kicking myself for not getting into it months ago. I can't catch them all, though. Yeah, can't catch them all. Hangman, on X, Crow CEO stating about opening up Crow ETF. Reason why? Oh, you know what, Hangman? I'm going to look into that, man. I'm going to look into it, see what kind of information I can dig up about that. And yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I'm a Doge holder from 2019. I'm dumping it this run. Good idea, man. Good idea, Doge. It's a good pickup if you have a nice bag. If you got it nice and cheap, should get pretty close to $1, in my opinion, this time around. I think last time around, it just kind of ran out of road, right? The bull run can only last so long. And I mean, usually when the market expects a token to go to a certain price, it usually will underperform it by, let's say 25% or so, which is kind of what Doge did, right? Went to like 72 cents or something. So yeah, Doge should be okay. But I would also, like I said, I would also sell it all in the peak of the bull run. All right, guys, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go. I got a one-on-one live chat over on the Patreon that I gotta get to. So I'm gonna go do that. And guys, if you want to schedule your own one-on-one coaching session, get over to the Patreon. The link is in the chat. It's in the description. It's everywhere you want to find it. Right? Get over to the Patreon. I will also be doing a group Zoom call over there a little bit later too. So I will be live over on the Patreon this afternoon. Get over there. Again, link is in the description. I'll see you guys this evening at 8 o'clock Central for the evening live stream. Deuces, ooses.